in a chilling act of violence that has sent shockwaves through the region. At least 70 Christians were brutally beheaded in a Protestant church in the village of Kasonga, located in North Kivu Province, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. The massacre, attributed to the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, an Islamist militant group with ties to the Islamic State, ISIS, has reignited global concern over the escalating violence and persecution of Christians in Africa's conflict-ridden heartland. The attack, which occurred on February 12, 2025, began when ADF militants stormed the nearby village of Mayba in the early hours, ordering residents to leave their homes quietly. According to Open Doors, a Christian persecution watchdog, the militants abducted at least 20 civilians initially, returning later that day to seize an additional 50, bringing the total to at least 70 captives. The victims, primarily Christian men and women, were bound and taken to a Protestant Sika 20 church in Kasonga, where they were executed with machetes and hammers. Their mutilated bodies were discovered on February 14, 2025, still inside the church, sparking horror and outrage among local communities and international observers. The ADF, a Ugandan-based Islamist rebel group that has operated in the DRC since the late 1990s, is notorious for its brutal tactics, including mass killings, abductions, and attacks on civilian targets, particularly Christians and places of worship. The group, designated a terrorist organization by the US and Uganda, has intensified its campaign in North Kivu and neighboring provinces, aligning itself with ISIS's Central Africa province since 2019. This latest atrocity adds to a grim tally of violence in the region, where the ADF has been linked to thousands of civilian deaths since 2014, according to the National Counterterrorism Center. Local authorities, including Military Administrator Alan Kiwewa of Lubero Territory, have launched an investigation into the massacre, with preliminary reports pointing to the ADF's involvement. "We are deeply shaken by this barbaric act," Kiwewa told Agence de Presse Africaine. Local sources suspect the ADF, but we are working to confirm and bring the perpetrators to justice. The international community has responded with a mix of condemnation and calls for action. Tristan Asbej, Hungary's State Secretary for the Aid of Persecuted Christians, expressed solidarity with the victims, stating, "We are horrified to learn of the 70 Christian martyrs beheaded by terrorists in Kasonga. The world must recognize and act against Christian persecution." However, many on social media, including prominent accounts like @Libs of TikTok and @EndWokeness, have criticized mainstream media for what they perceive as a lack of coverage, questioning why this atrocity has not received broader attention. The massacre underscores the broader crisis of insecurity in eastern DRC, where millions have been displaced by decades of conflict involving multiple armed groups, including the ADF. North Kivu, a region rich in minerals but plagued by violence, has seen a surge in ADF attacks targeting civilians, churches, and military outposts. Open Doors reports that the DRC ranks 35th on its World Watch list of countries where Christians face the most persecution, with faith-related killings rising from 261 in 2023 to 355 in 2024. Local Christian leaders expressed profound grief and fear. "We don't know what to do or how to pray, we've had enough of massacres," a community elder from the Sika 20 church told Open Doors. Many residents of Lubero have fled their homes, joining the more than 7 million internally displaced people in the DRC, the highest number globally, seeking safety amid ongoing violence. Humanitarian organizations, including World Vision, have urged the international community to increase support for child refugees and displaced populations in the DRC, where over 6 million people have died in conflict-related violence since 1998. The United Nations and regional forces, including the Ugandan and Congolese armies, have struggled to contain the ADF's insurgency, which has adapted and regenerated despite repeated military offensives. As the investigation continues, the Kasonga massacre serves as a stark reminder of the ongoing threats faced by religious minorities in Africa's Great Lakes region. Calls for stronger international action, improved security measures, and greater awareness of Christian persecution are growing louder, but the path to peace in eastern DRC remains fraught with challenges.